I actually just have to do a quick. We have to record the opening again. I just have to say the date and the name, the title of the date.
Okay.
Because I hit record right after I finished, realizing I wasn't recording. So keep recording your shit. I'm just gonna say, all right. Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast. Well, I'm gonna start again. Welcome. Hold on. Welcome to the Average Nobody's podcast number 93 for August 24th, 2020. My name is Matt, and here with me is.
I'm Adam, and I am back and ready to talk about something we're both very excited about.
We're going to talk about DC FanDome. This is totally not the end of the actual podcast that we're just chopping and putting in the front because I forgot to hit record. So that's it.
Definitely not.
Enjoy the podcast.
On DC FanDome, all the reveals, trailers, and this and that. And I'm gonna sound really. This might be odd, but I appreciate no one applauding for 10 minutes after. Chris Evans walks on stage.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying.
Let's get it moving.
Yeah,
let's get it moving.
Right. This was all meat, no potato. You know what I mean? Not no meat, no potato. It was all meat, no fat. Like, there was no fat on this at all. They got right to the point with everything for the most part. I mean, I know I was dying towards the end when they're interviewing Matt Reeves, and I'm just like, fucking show us the goddamn trailer. For the Batman. Yep. But other than that, they really, like you said, yeah. I mean, and also, when we were at, what do they call it? When we were at the DC, the Boston comic show.
Fan Expo.
Yeah, Fan Expo. We saw the line for Stan Lee, which is crazy long. God. And also, it was very expensive to get an autograph from him. It was like $120 or something like that.
So, I was, yeah, I think you were with me. I can't remember actually, but I know somebody who can get me into the Boston Comic-Con. I'm one of the first people there in the morning. I could be if I wanted to, and I was because I have these awesome prints, and I wanted them to get autographed by Stan Lee. And so I'm the first one in line, and they tell me $175 per autograph.
Right. Was that because they were signing something that wasn't one of the headshots that was there? It was right? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, the point I was getting to was, if you had told me that he was going to die shortly thereafter, I probably still wouldn't have gotten in line. It is what it is. Stan Lee, one of my heroes, but it is what it is. So to do something like this,
of money.
I hope that this gets more they do this for video games all the time. They do little live streams, and Nintendo calls them Nintendo Directs. They do little interviews with the people that are involved with the games, and they introduce new games and all this stuff. It would be really cool to, instead of I love a shadow dropped trailer just as much as the next guy. But it would be cool if they had these little events around it. It would be cool to hear from the director. It would be cool to hear from the actors and the experiences of them while they were filming it. Instead of this ridiculous, I mean, they're still going to do this, but the press junket they do at the end, or the constant panels that are just the same questions over and over again. This is so not pressure for the. You probably get better answers and better content out of the people involved with the movies when you do stuff like this, rather than in person having to fly out and all that. Anyway.
Right. And the questions aren't I mean, I'm sure they're not surprises in person, but they're ready for them, so they can give you a more comprehensive answer.
Yes. So anyway,
you know what else too is I really liked about this was that with the San Diego Comic-Con every year, how many times do I have to watch someone taking a video of a trailer on their phone before the actual one gets hits online? You know what I mean? This just skips right over that frustration.
Because we're just so totally fucking impatient. We cannot wait for the real one. We need to watch the
and everybody cheering throughout the trailer. No, I want to watch the trailer. I don't want to hear everybody screaming and yelling.
And I don't want us to sound like curmudgeons, because we are not that. That experience is awesome, truly. But what DC FanDome did is very special in a year where live things can't happen, and that digital events have been spotty at best, and sometimes not at all. E3 was totally canceled this year, and they did everybody did independent things to make up for it, but there was no there was no unified thing to call it E3 or any of these other shows that have been canceled. So anyway, DC FanDome, let's get into a quick recap. We're going to hit some of the main points. We're going to hit everything. We're going to hit some of the main points more in depth, and then we'll go from there. So first off, Wonder Woman 1984. They gave us a trailer. This movie almost falls into the categories of the New Mutants. Like, this movie got... right? I mean, it got pushed a year.
It was done filming, like, at least a year and a half ago.
Yes. So, it was done. Wonder Woman, the first one, hit theaters and went gangbusters. It was so good. Everybody loved it right out the gate. I think there's some opinion now of, like... I think it's more divisive now than it was when it first hit theaters. I think it was, like, people were so blown away by it. But 2017...
Isn't it funny how like, people sour on superhero movies like that over time? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of a good example of, like, a movie that everybody loved when it came out, and then, you know, after a little while, like, so, like, Aquaman got a lot of praise when it first came out because, like, it's amazing like, in theaters. That movie was amazing to see in theaters. But then after a while, people started, like, souring on it.
Yeah,
it's sort of the same thing with Wonder Woman. I feel like that happened.
And I think the opposite can happen too. If you look at Batman versus Superman, like, I feel like that movie was totally hated when it first hit theaters, and now there's such a... I mean, maybe just the cult following now has a louder voice because they've come through on top. But still, like, it was the opposite. Like, it wasn't received well at first, and then now people are really liking it. But anyway, yeah. So Wonder Woman 1984 got delayed a year from last year when it was supposed to hit theaters. And now
it was supposed to hit theaters this year, like in the spring, like May or April. It was supposed to be in theaters this year.
Oh no, right, yeah, right. So it was originally last year at that time. It was pushed a year, right?
I don't think so. I think we had just thought it was coming out last year because it had filmed 2 years ago.
I don't know where my phone is.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. Hold on. Original. I'm gonna look this up. But anyway.
No, that's fine. But regardless, the Wonder Woman movie this 1984 has been a long time coming, and in the new trailer, we finally got a good look at Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, which looks badass. And Steve Trevor is back somehow. I'm interested to see how. So that'll be fun. And I'm interested to see if it ties into other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in the trailer we see. So obviously we were speculating whether or not that was actually Steve Trevor or what the deal with that was. Was it flashbacks? It is truly Steve Trevor. We don't know in the details of why he is back or how he is back, but he is back. And it also we assume has to deal with Cheetah. And why she turns into Cheetah. You know what I mean? Like why Kristen Wiig's character gets this power to be the apex predator that is Cheetah.
Although I think that the main antagonist will be Maxwell Lord by Pedro Pascal. I think he is the main antagonist in the movie, and then Cheetah is sort of like the bonus. Cheetah is like the Black Manta of this movie. You know what I mean? Like everybody's psyched to see her. You know, we'll see her and Wonder Woman go at it, but I think the main dish is Maxwell Lord.
I like that.
For this one,
hopefully they keep. Yeah. Hopefully with the trailers they keep him on like on the DL. Like you know what I mean? Like save that little snippet. Save that little bit for the movie, for the little surprise in the movie.
I mean, this movie, Wonder Woman 1984 has already had at least 2 or 3 trailers. So like, good. We're good. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'm good with it. They had a few surprise guests. They had Serena Williams there for whatever reason.
Oh, cool.
Talking about Wonder Woman and whatnot. And then also Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, was there as well.
Cool.
So, I'm excited. I'm excited for Wonder Woman. I think this is a great, we've said this a million times, this year and probably some of next year too. It's a great time for DC to really, like, grab a hold of the comic book market because the MCU ain't doing shit. We'll talk a little bit.
No, they don't have anything right now.
Yeah, right. They had Black Widow.
Yeah, it's this year and next year because this year we're supposed to have Wonder Woman already. Is Suicide Squad coming out this fall? I think.
I don't know. It's a good question.
It might be. And then 21, we're getting Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Batman. Hopefully, if their filming schedule gets back on track, but we'll see.
Yeah, so it will be a good time for that stuff to come out. The Suicide Squad. Oh no, that's for that one. No, it's 2021.
Oh, okay. So even more still, another reason for them to really grab a hold in 2021.
The next thing that was talked about at the DC FanDome was something that's been long awaited by video game fans, and that was the Warner Brothers Montreal video game that they have been working on. And for a long time, they had been teasing it. I mean, it has been such a tease. Their Twitter account, they're like dropping hints here and there. People have speculated heavily that it was something to do with the Court of Owls, and they were correct. They were half correct. It was going to be a Batman game and the Court of Owls. They were half correct. The game is called Gotham Knights, and this takes place in a world where Bruce Wayne has died, and that the Bat family has to band together and fight the Court of Owls. It's a 2-player co-op, but you can pick from 4 of the Bat family members to play as. So
Who are the 4?
So you have Red Hood, you have Batgirl, Barbara.
Awesome.
You have Tim Blake, Robin, and you have
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake, right? Not Tim Blake. Tim Drake, and you have Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Of course. No Damian Wayne?
No, so I originally had thought that Robin might have been Damian Wayne, but it wasn't. It was it ends up being Tim Drake. But
I'm a big Tim Drake guy too. I mean, I love them all. I love the whole Bat family. You know, but when a few years back when I was really started getting into Batman detective comics, like Tim Drake is an awesome character.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Maybe Damian will show up at the end and take over as Batman.
Maybe that'd be cool. I mean, and also this I feel like there's a chance for other characters to be involved. I would fucking love to see Duke Thomas. Right. I would love to see Duke Thomas. I would love to see Damian. I would. There's other Bat family members that you can involve in this game and have it still be cool. The gameplay footage, if you look at the trailer, it looks very cool. And they have
Batwing. Lucius Fox's son. I forget his first name.
They have a full gameplay trailer, which it looks very cool, and they fight Freeze. So, yeah, I mean, it looks really cool, and it's something that was long awaited. I think that people are, even though it's not a true Batman game, I think people are still excited about it. There's nothing to be there's nothing to be upset about. It looks really, really fucking cool. So the next bit we'll talk about is The Flash. They also talked about the Flash TV show. Couldn't give a shit about that. I don't watch that at all, really. So, and there's also the multiverse now where they have Ezra Miller in the TV show with. I saw that clip. That was cool that they got together for that. Yeah, that is cool. I like that. I like the DC's kind of playing fast and loose with that, because I don't think that would be something that Marvel would do ever. They're doing they're doing their Disney Plus shows, but that's something completely different. This is the CW, right? You know what I mean?
They had Agent Carter and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but
Coulson, having Coulson in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the closest thing to what that is, to what the Flash being on the Flash TV show is.
They couldn't even get one of the original Avengers in there.
Right.
So,
but not at DC FanDome, but a few days before, we found out that Ben Affleck, our sweet baby boy Ben Affleck, is going to be back in the cape and cowl as Batman. I mean,
I can't believe we did it. I can't believe it.
If a pandemic didn't happen this year, this would be a pretty fucking phenomenal year for us as Batman fans. A pretty fucking phenomenal year.
Banner year.
So Ben Affleck as Batman, obviously, is going to be back reprising his role as the Batman in the Flash movie that is currently in pre-production, but should have been shooting this year, but it's going to be shooting soon. It's good news for the movie that Ben Affleck is attached, so that means that it has, it's going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind that it'll happen. There's also the fact that the second Batman, technically, the first movie Batman, Michael Keaton, is also involved. Adam, your thoughts?
That is I don't know which one is more unbelievable. You know what I mean? I don't know which one I thought would be back less. You know what I mean? I would have to say, a piece of me always thought that Ben might come back. You know what I mean? Especially because the Snyder Cut gained so much movement, and him and Zack Snyder are so tight. I'm assuming, but
it seems like they are.
Michael Keaton, like, wow, that is
Yeah.
awesome. Something I'm really interested to see in that movie, and something I think like could happen is like, what if one of them is a bad Batman?
That'd
You know
be
what I
cool.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
what if one of the Batmans is the bad guy
Yeah.
of the movie?
Well, who knows? The thing is, depending on how they get them involved in the Flash movie, who knows where Michael Keaton as an old Batman is in his life? You know what I mean? Like what
Right.
happened to him after the events of the 1989 movie? Like could he
Right.
have? I mean, who knows? Could he have snapped? Absolutely,
Right.
totally. Could he have
Right.
snapped? Absolutely.
We don't know.
So that's
We do
very
not know.
interesting. I'm so excited that the Flash movie. This was the opportunity that they needed to capitalize on. The Flash movie is the movie for them to kind of like smooth over some jagged edges in the DCEU. I'm not saying
And
they need
really
to
leaning into the multiverse.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For
Because then
sure.
it makes it like it makes it more sense for like, oh, there's a multiverse, so now there's 3 Batman. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas opposed, like, who's Batman? Is it Pattinson? Is it Affleck? Is it Michael Keaton again? Like,
Yes.
it smooths everything out.
And not that this movie just needs to be a way to shoehorn in new Batman or shoehorn in, you know what I mean, or fix things. It doesn't need the retcon, but it's going to be a fun movie where this is the type of shit that happens with a quantum superhero like the Flash. This is the type of shit he
Nice
deals.
buzzword. Well done.
There you go. Zack Snyder used it a lot in FanDome, so now I'm taking it.
He did.
The Flash is that character to play around with this kind of stuff, and he does so in his comics. The Joshua Williamson run of the Flash, the most recent one, I'm not super caught up on it. Meaning like the last like probably 3 or 4 months I haven't read a comic, but before that, very good run, and it got me very interested in the Flash. Where before I didn't really like, you know, besides Batman and Superman, DC characters kind of just like, man, I was like, I don't really know them. So that's very exciting. I'm fucking hyped that the Ben Affleck fan club is active and well. I mean,
We're
it was
back.
never gone. It was never gone.
No. We never lost faith.
No,
Never.
it's active and well. The Ben Affleck fan club lives on. I'm so fucking excited.
Very excited.
Next up, another thing that we're excited. A director that we know from the MCU is coming over to DC. James Gunn, or he came over to DC.
Oh, yep.
He already came over to DC. And he filmed a movie called The Suicide Squad. This is different from David Ayer's Suicide Squad from 2016. This is a new movie with some of the same characters. So, and also a lot of new characters.
It will be like a pseudo sequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To David Ayer's Suicide Squad. It looks like it's so they showed a featurette, not a trailer. So it introduces all the characters, some finished clips, some behind the scenes stuff, a lot of really cool graphics, and it's like lighter than Suicide Squad, the first one, the David Ayer one. And James Gunn is like built to do these type of movies. Like it's such great evidence with the Guardians movies.
Yes.
He's really great with these ensemble casts with quirky characters. And at first I was sort of like upset that, you know, the heroes or villains that he's using in his Suicide Squad aren't like well known. I don't even know half of them.
Yeah.
But I think there's something cool about that too, because he can play fast and loose with those characters. Like, kill this guy, kill that guy. This guy's a badass. You know what I mean? He can sort of play with the characters a lot. It'll be really interesting.
I think that a lot of them are going to be fan servicey type characters, where like they're deep cuts that only certain people will understand, and maybe they'll get a few lines that are like classic lines from them in comic books or whatever, or maybe they're like the few appearances they were in. This is like what they do. And you're right. Like I think maybe they killed them off. This could be like another Deadpool 2, where they have the X-Force and then they just fucking kill everybody. Like, immediately. Like they kill a bunch of the people off. Like Pete Davidson, I could see Pete Davidson dying in one scene. Like maybe John Cena stays around for a while, or maybe not. Like they have all these characters. So Rick Flag is the same. Amanda Waller is the same. Harley Quinn is the same, and Captain Boomerang, that lucky motherfucker, got to stick around as Captain Boomerang, man. Good for him. I forget the actor's name, but good for him. I'm glad he's
Jai Courtney.
Yeah,
is his name.
I'm glad that he got to stick around. Killer Croc is gone, but replaced with another character equally as exciting, King Shark. I don't know anything about King Shark, but I love it, and I'm so excited to know more about King Shark.
So in the run of Suicide Squad that I read, King Shark is like very similar. He was very similar to
Croc.
Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Very similar, but at one point he like had a relationship with Enchantress or something weird.
That's weird.
That. But it'll be cool to see.
Does he consider himself the rightful ruler of the... I read very briefly on him. He considers himself the rightful ruler of the oceans.
Oh, interesting.
So does he butt heads with Aquaman?
That would be my guess.
That would make sense. Anyway, I'm fucking so excited. I love the way that character's animated. You just look so good, and the little featurette they did.
A muscular shark with
pants on. It's so funny. Yeah, I love it. John Cena's character is basically like an asshole Captain America, I guess, right? Which is fucking so perfect for John Cena. I'm so happy he's getting into more movies.
And James Gunn has said that John Cena is great in the movie.
He
said John Cena is great. John Cena could be the Batista Drax of this movie.
I totally agree with you, and I'm super happy to hear that because Dave Batista have been getting a lot of kudos for his acting chops, and John Cena is kind of like getting the same, and they're both getting their like congratulations, but not with the fact that like, oh, they're great actors they're wrestlers, you know what I mean? I think they're just getting like they're great in the roles that they're in, period. Like that's it. That's cool. And I like John Cena a lot, as you know. So that's cool. I'm happy to see, honestly, too, like Margot Robbie kills it as Harley Quinn. I just watched
She's awesome.
I just watched the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. I just watched it. I was fucking super happy with that movie. It was really fun.
I know.
Like some of the other
characters were so cool.
They're all very cool. Yeah, I just had fun with it, and she crushes that Harley Quinn. Crushes it. It's not over the top. It's not it's not cringy in certain parts. Like the lines are delivered well, and she like is the character. Like I couldn't imagine anybody else right now playing Harley Quinn in this universe. So I'm so happy that she's also in it as well. Amanda Waller crushes too. Like
she's perfect as Amanda Waller, Viola Davis,
Rhode Island native.
I actually today I watched the clip from the original Suicide Squad of her and Bruce Wayne, like the bonus clip with Affleck. So badass, like she is the queen of secrets, and she knows what he's up to.
Yeah,
and she knows who he is. And there's a line that Bruce Wayne says that we take for granted, and it goes, shut it down, or me and my friends will do it for you. Like, Are you talking about Justice League versus Suicide Squad?
Right. Yeah.
We just take it for granted.
We'll get to that in a second, Justice League versus Suicide Squad. But the featurette looks cool. I'm with you. It's filmed. I'm surprised because we got the Batman trailer. I'm surprised we didn't get anything from this. They showed us a lot of footage and a lot of behind the scenes, so it could have been worse. But it is coming out in 2021, so maybe they're still tweaking some things. I'm sure the coronavirus thing had a big halt on some of their post-production work, so give them the benefit of the doubt on that. It looks pretty cool. It looks like they're pretty forthcoming with their information. So. And
you know what? With comparing how the Batman had a trailer and Suicide Squad didn't, imagine how different people's opinions would have been of DC FanDome if they didn't have a trailer. So they just they slapped together everything they had. It was amazing. We'll get into that at the end.
Yeah.
They slapped together everything they had.
That was imperative.
Because that was more than a cherry on top. That was like you have your cake and then a Newport Creamery truck shows up and just dumps a mountain of awful waffles onto your house.
Oh man, I fucking love their watermelon rolls. The Jimmy rolls too. You know the Jimmy rolls? Oh man. Okay. So, they announced. So moving on from Suicide Squad, they announced that they're going to be doing a Static Shock movie. I don't really know much about that character. Do you?
No.
So they're going to be apparently is a hero in the DC universe. Don't know really much about that character. So that's Static Shock. The Snyder Cut. So Zack Snyder was on there. They had Ray Porter.
His was very short. His part was very short.
I mean, the big thing for that is people wanted to see the trailer, the footage. Right. I really am. I know that it was basically just a music video. They put it over Hallelujah, which is one of his one of his signatures because they also use that in The Watchmen.
Oh, okay.
But so
we saw a lot of what we wanted to see.
Right.
Immediately hit you in the face with Darkseid.
Right, exactly.
You get a full blown look at Steppenwolf.
Yep.
Like, looks amazing. You get another look at one of Darkseid's henchmen. I believe it's Desaad, I think is his name.
Yes. All characters
and-
that were either changed or totally cut from the theatrical version of Justice League.
Right. You saw Barry Allen interact with Iris West.
Yes,
You saw
I love that.
a completely different Cyborg, like
A totally different Flash costume too.
totally different Flash costume. It was really great.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched it as many times as I've watched the new Batman trailer, but I was very, very happy. You know, and we talked about it afterwards about going on a trailer freeze. I don't know if I'm going to say we're going on a trailer freeze, but I don't think I have the willpower to do it. So,
I think
but
I
the
might
big
have to.
news, I think, for the Snyder Cut is we got the trailer, and we got the format.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4 1-hour parts on HBO, which I think is awesome.
Perfect.
You know, like draw it out, and then a compiled version. Because now you've got yourself 5 weeks of ratings.
Yep.
You know, you've got yourself
man.
5 weeks there, and maybe even a documentary too. You know, they must be doing a documentary. Nobody does documentaries better than HBO, so they have to be doing a documentary about Zack Snyder's journey and how he got to where he is and the process of putting it all together. You know what I mean? So I'm sure we'll get that too.
Yep. I agree. I think that would be a very cool to have a camera crew following, or at least like documenting the process of them finishing it. I think that would be very cool. The trailer looked great. I mean, it looked like, it legitimately looked like a different movie for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it definitely did. 90% of that footage was stuff we haven't seen before, which is
I'm
amazing.
I'm like trying to think of stuff that we have seen from that trailer.
I mean,
like,
the part of them like assembling, like them being together right outside the Superman statue, we've seen that. But okay, but Cyborg looks different, Flash looks different, so that's different. All like
I actually saw a funny picture. Like on Instagram, it was how the top bar of the photo it said Whedon, and it was a picture of Cyborg, getting his new suit and him and his dad all happy. And then the bottom one was like, Cyborg like in agonizing pain watching his father explode.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Just
right.
polar opposites.
Yeah. So man, I'm so excited for it. I'm so concerned at what other movies have been butchered like this. You know what I mean? Like, not butchered, but like, how many times has this happened before? Or how many times will it happen in the future where, if this is really good, like, it really sucks that we could have been truly just stuck with the theatrical version. You know?
Right.
Like, that truly is something that's awful.
It seems like we're stuck with the theatrical version of the David Ayer's Suicide Squad, which
who knows?
Which we're led to believe that had the same treatment.
Who knows, man? I mean, if this does really, I can't even imagine that like HBO's not already asking about it. Like, if this has already have so much traction, and with this, a byproduct of it has been people jumping on the David Ayer bandwagon with his cut. Like, my Twitter timeline is just like the people I interact with, like you guys, my friends, and then it's Snyder Cut shit, and all I see is David Ayer stuff as well. Like, they're also like championing that as well. So who knows? It could be in the works, whatever. But you're right. We could be stuck with that cut of Suicide Squad, and maybe we'll get the new Suicide Squad movie too. But you're right. We could be stuck with it.
I actually read something where David Ayer like doesn't blame Deadpool, but talks about Deadpool being the reason that his movie got butchered like it was
because of how well
they
it did.
wanted. Well, because of how well it did, and because it was more of a comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deadpool is a action comedy, and that wasn't the intention of his movie. So he filmed like a darker, grittier action movie, and they tried to make it a comedy. You know what I mean? After the fact.
I'm sick of marketing departments thinking they know what's best because they know what makes money. Like, just because something, it's not an A plus B equals C scenario. Like, it's not because this movie made money and it's this genre. This other movie that's kind of like it because it's superheroes is also going to make money because it's like that movie. It's not the same thing. And I hate marketing departments thinking it is. It's not X's and it's not ones and zeros. It's a feel, and you also need to like feel for the fans too. Something that I think that, and this is going to be like a stretch, but in the opposite direction, Jon Favreau has done with Star Wars. Jon Favreau and The Mandalorian, he knows that it's not just here's how other Star Wars movies are done, or here's how other sci-fi movies have been done recently with CGI and whatnot. This is not what we want to do. This is the fans who control this universe, and they're the ones who are going to pay the money to see this, so let's give them what they want. I think that that's more like that, and I think that's what's happening with the Snyder Cut, which is fucking super awesome. Again, a year of dreams, minus a pandemic.
So I wanted to mention, you know, we talked about this, we've touched on this earlier, like the potential of what the Snyder Cut could do as far as, you know, getting an air cut, but for me, and I know for you too, like bringing Ben Affleck back for the Flash movie is amazing. But what do we really want? We want him back for real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We want him back, solo movie, you know, Justice League 2, something like that. We want more because, you know, majority of people love him. So I feel like the success of the Snyder Cut could bring him back. You know,
you're totally right. I mean, here's the other reality of this situation: the Snyder Cut, this Justice League that Zack Snyder was making, was gearing up for a second and third, right, of Justice League movies.
Yes. So it was Zack Snyder. His plan was 5 movies: Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and 3 Justice Leagues.
Right. So
that was his plan.
So you gotta be. Like, you got to expect that the end of the Snyder Cut, the Justice League movie that we're going to see on HBO Max next year, is going to have a major cliffhangers in many ways, right? I mean, and if Zack Snyder is smart, he leaves it in as intended, because that is going to drum up big time support for Justice League 2, which I am totally on board for. Let's do the math here. Henry Cavill, we're not sure what his deal is with him being Superman again. We don't know. But I feel like it's more possible than not. Ben Affleck is putting the cowl back on. We know that. He is putting the cowl back on. Not for a full movie, like you said, but he is putting it back on. He's open to it.
Right. We won't lose Gal. We won't lose Jason Momoa. We won't lose Ray Fisher.
No.
And, like, hopefully Ezra Miller stops choking young women, so we won't lose him as well.
Yeah.
You see that video?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's only 10 seconds or something, so we don't know the context, but it didn't look great. And,
how long ago was that? When did that happen?
I don't know. I feel like I saw it like towards the beginning of the pandemic.
Okay, so we're past that. Okay. Well, it's not great, but hopefully we know we have to know about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited about the Snyder Cut. You can't tell me any different. I'm just excited for it.
Yep.
So next up here is, and I missed this part, so I want you to fill me in on it, the Black Adam announcement.
Right. So they haven't started filming yet. I follow The Rock on Instagram. He's enormous. He's been working out like some type of animal. And so what they did have was an animated trailer. So Jim Lee and Boss Logic and I think another like animation department, they came up with like a bunch of graphics and they got animated together in this cool little trailer. And it was great. I thought it was great that they put forth that type of effort to have something for us, because The Rock has been attached as Black Adam for at least 5 years. He's been attached for a very long time. So we got to see this, and it's a story about I don't know the character's full name, but he's thousands of years old, and he spent his life as a slave, and then he got these powers, and got himself free and freed all of his people, and he'll never be chained down again. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna see, I guess, the Justice Society of America, which I'm not too familiar with, in this movie. So we're all on top of Black Adam. We're getting Atom Smasher, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, and help me out with the last one, Hawkman.
That's right. Yes, Hawkman.
So, that's, they're not all household names, but, if you're familiar with the animated Justice League show, you know who Hawkman is.
Yes.
You know who Hawkgirl is. So that will be really cool, so now we're expanding. We're expanding our characters now, which is great.
And that was 2022, right? That release time?
2022, yes. 2022.
Very cool.
So that's also very exciting. When The Rock gets into something, he is franchise NOS. He'll take your franchise to the next level.
Yeah.
So that should be really fun.
I agree. And then kind of talking about that, let's jump right into Shazam 2 too. Shazam 2 is set to come out in 2021. And it's called Fear, right? Is it set to come out in 2021?
No, I think 22.
Is it 2020? Is it before or after Black Adam?
I do not know.
Shazam 2. So anyway, Shazam 2, it's called Fury of the Gods.
2022.
2020. Okay, perfect. Called Fury of the Gods. Zachary Levi actually made his appearance a few times in FanDome, which is pretty cool. I think the first Shazam movie is very underrated in the DC movie little space. I really liked it, and I enjoyed it. I thought Zachary Levi was perfect as Shazam.
He loves being Shazam as much as Jason Momoa loves being Aquaman.
Yeah, and you love to see that too. Like you'd love to have someone who's excited to be the character. So
as much as Tom Holland loves to be Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like that level.
Yep. So that was great. Cool. And he had a little back and forth with one of the video games too, which I think it was actually Suicide Squad. Oh no, that was Will Arnett. Maybe he did the Gotham Knights one. So next up here. Rocksteady was also rumored to be making a DC game. Rocksteady is the same developer that made the other
the Arkham
book games? Arkham games. Yes, correct. So this is they were anticipating that this was going to be a direct sequel to the Arkham games, and which it is. But this is actually told from the perspective of the Suicide Squad. And this is a 4-player co-op game. It's called Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. The Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad has been hired to hunt down the Justice League, led by. We haven't seen any of the other Justice League members, but in this CGI trailer, they show Superman, and he's all fucked up. He's been possessed by. I don't know what the character in the books. What is the character that possesses him? Do you know? People know. It's a theory that people have. Anyway, he's got like the purple eyes. He's not Bizarro. He's just got like the purple eyes. He's been possessed. Look it up while I'm talking about it. So this is a
Trigon.
Okay, so
I think Trigon is a demon. It's Raven's father.
Okay, so this is a 4-player co-op game, and the 4 Suicide Squad members you can play as are Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, who looks a little different than the James Gunn Suicide Squad one. And the last one is Deadshot. So you get Deadshot, you get Harley Quinn, you get King Shark, and you get Captain Boomerang. Again, Captain Boomerang hanging on for dear life.
Hanging on,
for dear life. I don't know what it is, but I was talking with my friends who I've been playing video games with from the crew from Respawn Aim Fire, and I was kind of making fun. I'm like, who's the poor sap that's going to have to play as Captain Boomerang when you have Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and King Shark? And they were all kind of like, oh, well, like, who knows? He could end up being the funnest. But I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen. No one wants to play as Captain Boomerang. So this is a direct sequel to the Arkham games. It happens in the same universe. So that's pretty fucking dope. 2 really awesome DC games coming out in the next couple of years. So very excited. So, all right, to our main point.
Yep. The Batman.
There's this little movie that Matt Reeves.
We've been talking about we've been peppering it in this whole time. We've been talking about it because we're obviously the most excited about it. I've watched the trailer 10 plus times. I watched it 3 times this morning when I got up.
Same.
And like, I talk about being blown away by a trailer a lot, but I was truly, truly blown away by this. It gave me, and I've been waiting, like, since we saw the trailer, I've been waiting to say this. It reminded me a lot of the trailer for Logan, because the trailer for Logan was incredible. Mm-hmm. The fact that he is a superhuman is secondary.
Yeah,
that just looked like a badass movie, and so does this. This looks like a badass detective crime thriller movie.
Yeah,
where the main character just happens to be Batman.
Right. who is a very grounded character to begin with, especially in this movie where he's a year 2 Batman is what we've been told.
Batman is just a guy with monster balls, just the biggest balls in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll do anything.
Yeah,
that's
accurate.
That's what makes it, I think, the coolest character, in comic books, but personally.
Yes.
But like talking about the other characters they show, like I cannot wait for Paul Dano as the Riddler. Like the part, I'm assuming it's him. He has he's saying his riddles and like his homemade costume with something wrapped around his head and the glasses. Like even the little mask that Selena Kyle wears. Like everything looks so grounded. Like the Nolans, but in a completely different way.
Nothing's polished. This isn't like the Val Kilmer, George Clooney Batman movies. This is it's not. In a way, it's really not cartoon. It's not comic booky. It's not cartoony. Like it's not like these characters. It's not like Poison Ivy. Uma Thurman jumped off the page and into the movie. No. This is like very homemade costumes, all that stuff.
Right. He made his costume. That he made the Batmobile. He doesn't have like a tricked out Bat cave. You know what I mean?
Not yet.
There's just regular fluorescence down there. It's him. It's him and Alfred. That's it. And that's how Batman starts out, and it's so cool. I'm psyched to see Andy Serkis as
right. So let's go
Alfred.
quickly. Let's go quickly through the trailer and what characters we saw and what characters you saw. That you think
I saw it. I can't believe that tweet that I sent it earlier hasn't gotten any play.
Oh, I gotta fucking. I didn't even see it. I gotta retweet it. I haven't been on Twitter.
I haven't seen it anywhere else. So, anyways, you see Jim Gordon.
Yes, who is Jeffrey Wright? Jeffrey Wright looks like a great Jim Gordon. I mean, you don't see him really say or do anything, but fucking looks badass in that world. I love it.
So he's in Westworld, and I love him in Westworld.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to see him as Commissioner Gordon. Or I don't think he's the commissioner yet in this. You see Batman, obviously. You see Catwoman, Selena Kyle. I'm looking through the trailer. I'm like, where the hell is Colin Farrell? Where's Penguin? Mm-hmm. He's in there, and he's unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
He looks incredible.
Yeah, if you have a chance, whoever has, I mean, you've probably seen it already, but you probably haven't noticed him. Go look online where people have posted screenshots of the character that we assume is him, and there's no other reason for this character to have his own one shot in this trailer other than for him to be.
He's got a couple one shots
too. Other than for him to be Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, who is played by Colin Farrell.
Right. You don't see him out of makeup, but I'm assuming it's Paul Dano taping the face of someone who's dead in the very first scene. So he's Edward Nashton. He's billed as the Riddler, not Edward Nygma. I'm not sure why, but we'll see. And then who am I missing? Am I missing anybody else? So Peter Sarsgaard, awesome character actor. Mm-hmm. He's billed to be in the movie. He's supposed to be some district attorney, and automatically everybody starts thinking, oh, he's Harvey Dent. But that's not who he's listed as. The name escapes me. But you don't see him in the trailer. Or do you? On my Twitter, at Adam.Barnardino, I took a screenshot, and it came out really good, of a scene where a car comes crashing through what looks like a funeral, and then someone is, bloody, and they have a yellow envelope taped to their chest, and like an iPhone taped to their hand, and it looks like he's wired to blow. And if you zoom in on it, it's Peter Sarsgaard.
It absolutely is. Yeah,
he is in the trailer, but that's all you see of him.
Yeah. You have this great, you have this whole build up in the trailer to the moment where Batman is in the it looks like a subway or like a whatever, with these this gang of criminals. And they're like, who are you? What did they say? Who are you? Who are you supposed to be?
Yeah,
or whatever?
Who the hell are you supposed to be?
Yeah, and then he just beats the ever-living hell out of one of the guys in the most badass fucking, Batman, and it's cool because he's very early on in his, role as Batman, so he's not doing any, fancy shit. He's just pummeling this dude. Just fucking pummeling him. And just,
the best part about that was, in between the initial beatdown and when his line, is like the guy's on the ground.
Yeah.
He still gives him a couple more shots.
I love it. And then he says, fucking, I am vengeance. I just became aroused. As you would. And then they cut to a shot of the Batmobile, which I am fucking so
firing up,
so head over heels about. That Batmobile looks so fucking cool. It's so awesome. And then it just like ramps up from there, and the rest of the trailer just ends with it's just like
there's a shot in the trailer where like he's getting point blank shot in the chest and just eating it.
Yeah. Oh,
and then like there's another one he's shoots himself up in like I forget the name of the gear, but
I love I also love the fact that he's getting like down and dirty with Gotham PD. Like he's like in the so this is something I read. I hadn't played the Arkham games, but in one of the Arkham games there's a scene it looks similar to that of him in like the corral with all the detectives and all the police officers. And so that and like from what in the video game, it seems like it's something where like he's working with Gordon and he's trying to feel out like who he can trust and who he can't trust, which is fascinating shit when it comes to the GCPD. Yeah. So that's very cool. It looks so fucking good, man.
You don't see John Turturro as Carmine Falcone in the trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
He's not in there, but he is. There's in when Batman at the beginning of the trailer when he walks into that apartment of a crime scene or that residence of a crime scene, some of the newspaper clippings say about Maroni crime family caught or something like that, something to that effect. I sort of like there were some people joking around on social media about goth Batman, but I kind of like that they he has to have the eye black on.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense.
They make it look on purpose. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be there.
Also, like he did it in the mirror.
Right.
Or like he did it to him. He had to put it on himself in the Batmobile before he got out.
Right. He doesn't have like the white eyes yet.
Yeah.
And while having the white eyes would be cool, like you probably lose a lot of the character not being able to see their eyes. Like it works animated. It works in comic books, but it might not work as well in a movie.
Right. It doesn't work like how they did with the Spider-Man costume where they animated the eyes to move. It doesn't work like that. It won't work like that. And honestly, this is a very particular Batman. And that's this Batman. The black Batman who has to put the eye black on before he puts his cowl on so that his eyes are completely masked within the costume.
Yes,
he just looks fucking badass. The whole thing looks fucking incredible. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it a few more times tonight.
Do we know how many that there's? Like, I know Matt Reeves is signed on for a sequel and some.
Yeah, I thought it was.
He also mentioned that his Gotham City PD show on HBO will be it'll be Batman's first year as Batman. So, like, I have a feeling we might get a cameo, but a lot of it'll be like stunt doubles and like him flashing across the screen.
Him happening
and
in the
rumors
shadows.
swirling around him, right. And something that Matt Reeves did say was like about this is like everyone is afraid of Batman in Gotham. Good guys and bad guys, like they don't know him at all yet. So that should be really interesting.
I can't wait.
Dude, like another one where I'd love to be on a trailer freeze, but I don't know if I can control myself.
We'll have to see. Because in theory, that sounds awesome, but I don't know if I could actually do it. When is that coming out? October 1st.
That's 2021.
2021. That's way too far away.
But they haven't been filming for weeks. You know what I mean? Like I think only a quarter of the movie has been filmed.
Yeah.
So.
Enough to show us a tremendous trailer, though, which I am super excited about. So that's it. DC FanDome was great. I mean, they knocked it out of the park.
Like it's been, it was on Saturday. Today's Monday. People are still buzzing about it, which in the world of social media and the internet, like that's pretty great.
That's an eternity. That's crazy. That it's still being talked about like that, and people are sharing screenshots, which is I think what they wanted to happen in the first place. So that's awesome for it to be like fodder for this long. So there's another one. The other half of this DC FanDome is happening in the end of September. Is it?
I think it's like September 12th or something.
Okay, so middle of September.
Yeah.
So we'll get
Don't have
more.
to wait too long for it.
Yeah, no, we'll get more there. I think we're gonna get some of the Pennyworth show that they're making. We're gonna get a little bit of that. Who knows what else? More surprises.
Hopefully, some surprise stuff.
Yeah, I would assume that they probably split it into 2 FanDome shows because they have enough content to fill 2 shows. So I feel confident in the people who produce this to also produce a equally as enthralling show. Even though we're probably not going to get more of the Batman, we're probably not going to get more of the Snyder Cut, but that's fine.
Right.
Not a big deal.
Right.
So, all right. I actually, yeah. So that's it. So we're gonna have another episode of the Average Nobody's podcast this week. Probably. I gotta talk to Ryan to see what night he wants to do it, and if Adam, if you're available too, obviously. So we'll talk about that later. But that's it. DC FanDome, man. Fucking excited.
Blew it out of the park.
Very, very excited. Cool. That's it.